Hey, welcome to Zaron's Art. So, you guys, I have some big news. I'm doing a class for little artists this Friday, and I'm going to show you the techniques that I'm thinking about doing for them. So, this first clip you see is me stretching the paint, and I wanted to do something that was cost friendly. So, I used Craft Smart paint, and I stretched with some Elmer's glue. You see, right now it's just the paint in the cups, and then you'll see me stretching with the Elmer's glue. And this was my first time using Elmer's glue to stretch with. And I don't know why I didn't start off like this. I don't know why I didn't learn with Elmer's glue. I actually was satisfied with my pieces stretching with this glue. So it won't be my last time using it. If you see that white is very thick. So we have to get them all to the same consistency. But right now I'm pouring out the Elmer's glue that I poured into the bottles. Just trying to get that extra paint out as well. But it's okay if we don't get all of it out. Yep. And then I'm going to stir them until all of the white is gone. Just basically letting me know that I've mixed in all of the glue. And I wanted to show you guys the consistency of it, but these videos were so long. I like to make videos under 10 minutes, but unfortunately this time you guys have a 10-minute video, or a little longer, about 13 minutes. So at this point I have all of the paint mixed. And then I added just a little bit of water to get a good consistency. So I wanted all of the paint to be at the same consistency, and I wanted it so if I lifted my craft stick, it didn't build a mound. Now that white was so thick that girl, I had to work on her for a little bit, and then I figured it was easier to just mix them individually so I can get the same consistency. So I had to slow down a little bit and just do them one by one. And yes, I made a big mess. I spilled paint on the floor. I had to stop and clean up. And then I had my toddler in the background, my little assistant. That was a little distracting. So yeah, now all of the paint is mixed up to the same consistency. So this pour that I'm doing right now is a open cup pour, where you just stack and layer the colors however you would like. I stacked the blues together and I put the white in between. I noticed that I put a lot of white. I do know that white takes over. Also, for an 8x10 canvas, you only need 4 ounces of paint. So I wanted to make sure that I use my scale so I can be as accurate as possible. Here's a little cleanup. This is when I made that terrible mess. I literally spilled half of my cup of turquoise, so I had to improvise. So yeah, just me cleaning up. Ollie trying to help, but kind of making a bigger mess. I am a mom that paints. So here it is. You see I have 4 ounces of paint here in this one cup. I used the paint that I mixed to create 4 ounces of paint in this cup here. So for this pour, I'm going to just pour in a circular motion. A lot of times I try to start off slow just to see the effect, but then I get a little impatient and I always speed up. So just still pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring. As you see, it's just mainly that dark blue that's coming out, but you'll start to see the turquoise come out soon. So back to my class that I'm having. It's, well, not my class, it's a workshop, and it's my very first workshop. I'm very, very excited. There's a group of kids that are homeschooled in the DMV, of course, just like any other area. And these kids don't get to create a lot. So this will be their first time working with a artist, and I'm very excited to make the first impression on these children. So as you see, the turquoise has come out, and this looks beautiful. I love these 3 colors together. I'm definitely going to make sure that I have at least a group work with these 3 colors on Friday, because they were phenomenal. They were a perfect pour. So here I am pouring, and when you pour, you want to Let the paint touch the very tip and bring it back to the center. Very tip and bring it back to the center. You can see some sails popping. Usually I use my heat gun to develop these sails, but this time I didn't use my heat gun, and this was a big shock for me because usually I stretch with Floetrol. So I'm just really happy to know that I can use cost-friendly materials and make a great painting and get a perfect pour. So like I said, this pour that we see here is a open cup pour. One of my favorites. So as I was stretching, I did not want to lose those sails. I did not want to lose the picture, the illusion that I made. So I ended up pausing, and I used some finger swiping just to fill the edges. And I also poured a little more paint to fill in those white spaces around the edges. And you can do that when you don't want to mess up your sails or your pour, because if you keep running the paint off the canvas, you'll lose the picture that I have there in the middle. So I love this. I love that turquoise in the middle. I love how the white just pops in. Remember, before I thought I used too much white, I thought it would take over, but it didn't. It did its job very well. And here I am just cleaning up the edges. Add some dark blue here. And voila. That is the open cup pour. Just beautiful. So for this technique, this is going to be a funnel pour that I use with a recycled bottle. Now, this white paint was very thick, like I said in the beginning. So as I put this white over, it's not actually white. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know the name of this, the specific name of this color, so we're just going to call it white. Once I put it on the board, it just wouldn't move for me at all. It was just stiff like bricks. And I didn't really feel like spending time getting it down to a good consistency. So I said, hey, I'm just going to wing it. So as you can see, I have so many uncovered spaces on this canvas. You want to make sure that your canvas has something on the back of it so that the paint can glide perfectly. So that's the importance of that. So here it is. I love to do funnel pours with water bottles. I absolutely love them. I let this sit. I usually use my heat gun, but I was outside painting. And as I let it sit, I saw the cells develop. So you'll see these cells develop as this painting just sits here. Just natural heat and the chemicals that I use. As you see, they're popping up. Some extra ones just popped up on the left side. And yeah, it just looks amazing. This was a perfect funnel pour in my opinion, because I got these cells and I didn't do anything at all except for just mix and pour. So we're going to let that sit more. And then I love to use a straw. Shout out to Olga Sobey, who introduced me to this technique and this method. I strictly learned how to funnel pour from Olga Sobey. So yeah, shout out to Olga. So here you are. You'll see me blow it out. The goal is no straight lines at all. That is the goal. So I'm going to pour out until I have no straight lines at all. And then, like I said, you seen earlier, I had all those white spaces. So as I was painting, I just improvised and I just filled in paint in those areas that weren't filled in. And then I'm going to blow more with the straw, and I'm going to get the colors to open up, I'll blow in the middle and move outward and into the direction that I want the pattern to go. So when you blow, you have to be very intentional. This was the technique I wanted to do for the Little Learners class. But as I did this technique, I realized that I actually practiced this a lot, and that it would be very hard to teach the children how to do this just in one setting, and that this technique was better for a class than for a workshop. So as much as I love this pour, I'll have to leave this pour out because it's just a little too advanced for someone learning how to do pour art or someone just taking a workshop. After I did that first funnel pour, I realized that the canvas could have a little bit more. So you'll see me creating another pattern. It started to drip off of the canvas. I was using too much paint. This is definitely over 4 ounces of paint. But like I said, I was winging it for this one. It's just me just opening the colors more, trying to get some more colors out from underneath. Even though I was only working with 3, I wanted them to show through the white. So this got a little confusing. I had too much paint for the space that I was working with. So as you can see, it's starting to pull right there. So I'm trying to create a shape, but like I said, it's just a little bit too much paint. But I'm satisfied with how this painting came out. This painting came out very, very nice. So for my next pour is a flip cup pour. This was phenomenal. Let's just watch. No words at all.